When we hear the name Rudy Giuliani, most of us are instantly transported back to a pivotal moment in American history. Giuliani's leadership as New York City's mayor during the September 11th attacks is etched into the collective memory of a nation. In the aftermath of unimaginable tragedy, he stood at the forefront, offering words of comfort and strength to a city and a country grappling with loss and fear. His calm presence and unwavering resolve became a beacon of hope, not just for New Yorkers, but for people across the United States and around the world. It was during those dark days that Giuliani earned the nickname America's Mayor. He became a symbol of resilience, unity, and determination in the face of adversity. His daily press briefings, his walks through the city's streets, and his visible empathy for victims and first responders helped to unite a fractured city. For many, Giuliani's leadership during 9/11 set a new standard for what it means to guide a community through crisis. But Giuliani's story didn't begin on September 11th. Long before he became mayor, he was known as a tough, relentless prosecutor. In the 1980s, he made headlines for his aggressive pursuit of organized crime, taking on powerful mob bosses and corrupt officials. His work as U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York earned him a reputation as a fearless defender of the law, and it was this tenacity that helped shape his public persona. Giuliani's early career was marked by high-profile cases and a commitment to justice, laying the groundwork for his later political life. Over the decades, Giuliani's career has been a tapestry woven with both remarkable achievements and significant controversies. He has been praised for his crime-fighting efforts and his leadership in times of crisis, but he has also faced criticism and scrutiny for his political decisions and public statements. These ups and downs have kept him in the public eye, making him a figure who inspires both admiration and debate. Through it all, Giuliani has remained a prominent and often polarizing presence in American life. Recently, at the age of 81, Giuliani's story took an unexpected turn. This new chapter wasn't about politics, legal battles, or public appearances. Instead, it centered on a simple yet profound act of kindness. In a world where public figures are often defined by their most dramatic moments, Giuliani's quiet gesture stood out as a reminder of the humanity that exists behind the headlines. In a small town in New Hampshire, Giuliani encountered a stranger in distress. Without hesitation, he chose to help, offering support and compassion in a moment when it was needed most. This wasn't a grand, orchestrated event. It was a genuine, spontaneous act that spoke volumes about his character. Sometimes, the most meaningful stories are the ones that happen away from the cameras, in the quiet corners of everyday life. This story serves as a powerful reminder that behind every public figure, no matter how celebrated or controversial, there is a person capable of profound humanity. It's easy to forget that those in the spotlight experience the same range of emotions, challenges, and opportunities for kindness as anyone else. Giuliani's act in New Hampshire invites us to look beyond the headlines and see the individual, not just the icon. In the end, sometimes it's these quiet, unheralded moments that reveal the most about a person's legacy. They remind us that true character is often found not in the grand gestures, but in the simple acts of kindness that touch another life. As we remember Rudy Giuliani, we are reminded that legacies are shaped not just by public triumphs or controversies, but by the everyday choices to show compassion and humanity. On a quiet Saturday night in New Hampshire, the world seemed to slow down. The air was crisp, the sky was clear, and the only sounds were the distant hum of crickets and the occasional car passing by. It was the kind of night where nothing out of the ordinary was expected to happen, a night that felt safe, predictable, and almost serene. Rudy Giuliani was behind the wheel, driving through these peaceful roads, perhaps lost in thought or simply enjoying the solitude that nighttime brings. The gentle rhythm of the tires on the asphalt and the soft glow of the dashboard lights made it feel like just another routine drive home. But sometimes fate has a way of turning the most ordinary moments into something extraordinary. Suddenly, out of the darkness, a figure appeared on the roadside, a woman, clearly distressed, waving her arms desperately to flag down a passing car. Her face was etched with fear and urgency, her movements frantic. She was fleeing a domestic violence situation, her only hope resting in the kindness of a stranger. In that moment, she was a stranger seeking safety, and Giuliani was the first to respond. He didn't hesitate. He pulled his car to the side of the road, heart pounding, unsure of what he might find, but knowing that someone needed help. Her courage to seek help was met with his willingness to stop. In the darkness, two lives intersected, one searching for refuge, the other ready to offer it. It was a moment defined by vulnerability and compassion, where fear met hope. The encounter was unscripted, urgent, and deeply human. There were no rehearsed lines, no time to think, just instinct and empathy guiding their actions. The night, once so quiet, was now charged with emotion and the weight of a life-changing decision. Giuliani pulled over, stepping into the role of protector. In that instant, he became more than just a passerby. He became a lifeline, a source of safety in a world that suddenly felt dangerous and unpredictable. This decision set off a chain of events that would test both compassion and fate. What began as a simple drive home would soon become a night neither of them would ever forget, as their actions rippled outward in ways they could never have imagined. Sometimes, the most ordinary nights become unforgettable. A single moment of bravery or kindness can transform the course of a life, leaving a mark that lasts forever. And sometimes, help comes from the most unlikely places. A quiet road, a passing stranger, a night that was supposed to be just like any other. In those moments, we are reminded of the power of compassion and how even the smallest act can change everything. Giuliani didn't hesitate. He called 911, ensuring help was on the way. He stayed with the woman, offering comfort until police arrived. In moments of fear, a calm presence can mean everything. Giuliani put aside his own plans to be there for someone in crisis. It wasn't about his reputation. It was about doing what was right. When police took over, Giuliani had already made a difference. His actions were a reminder. Anyone can be a first responder. That night, he was a guardian for a stranger. But fate had another twist in store. Sometimes helping others puts us in harm's way. With the crisis resolved, Giuliani returned to his car, ready to continue his journey. But as he prepared to merge onto the highway, disaster struck. Another vehicle, speeding through the night, slammed into his parked car. The impact was sudden and violent, shattering the calm. Giuliani, moments ago a helper, was now the victim of a serious crash. Emergency responders shifted their focus to him as he faced severe injuries. In an instant, the night's hero became the one in need. Life's unpredictability was on full display. Sometimes the cost of kindness is paid in ways we never expect. Paramedics rushed Giuliani to a Manchester hospital. Doctors found a fractured thoracic vertebra, deep cuts, and bruises. He also suffered injuries to his arm and leg. Recovery would require a back brace and time. His journey was just beginning. The news sparked concern, a reminder of how fragile life can be. Medical teams worked to stabilize him, while loved ones gathered for support. Even for the strongest, healing from trauma is never easy. Giuliani now faced a long road back. As word spread, Giuliani's spokesman, Michael Ragusa, offered updates to calm public concern. He confirmed Giuliani was conscious, alert, and in good spirits despite his injuries. The prognosis was optimistic. Giuliani's determination was undimmed. Ragusa assured everyone that recovery was underway and business would resume soon. These updates provided hope and clarity in a moment of uncertainty. Giuliani's resilience was on display, inspiring those who followed his story. Even in pain, he remained a fighter. Recovery from a fractured vertebra is slow and demanding. Giuliani would wear a brace, relying on medical care and the support of those around him. The emotional toll of trauma is real, but his positive outlook was a powerful asset. Family, friends, and colleagues rallied to his side. With expert care and inner strength, he began the process of healing. Each day brought progress, however small. The journey would test his patience but not his resolve. Resilience once again defined his path. In the aftermath, rumors swirled about the crash's cause. Ragusa quickly set the record straight. This was not a targeted attack. He urged the public to avoid conspiracy theories and respect Giuliani's privacy. The focus, he said, should be on recovery, not speculation. Privacy was requested for Giuliani and his family during this vulnerable time. Compassion means giving space to heal. Truth and empathy matter most in moments like these. Sometimes the best support is quiet understanding. Giuliani's actions that night in New Hampshire remind us of the power of helping others. In a world that often feels rushed and disconnected, it's easy to forget how much a single moment of compassion can mean. Yet, when Giuliani saw a stranger in need, he didn't hesitate. He pulled over, stepping out into the cold darkness, guided only by the instinct to do what was right. That simple decision, one that many might have driven past, became a turning point not just for the person he helped, but for Giuliani himself. He stopped for a stranger, acted with courage, and faced adversity with strength. In that moment, he showed us that true bravery isn't always about grand gestures or public recognition. Sometimes it's about quietly stepping up when no one else will, about offering a hand when the world seems indifferent. Giuliani's courage was not just in facing the unknown, but in choosing to care, even when it was inconvenient or risky. His story is about service, resilience, and the unpredictability of life. None of us can foresee the twists and turns our journeys will take. One moment, we're on a familiar path. The next, we're called to act in ways we never expected. Giuliani's willingness to serve, even in the face of uncertainty, reminds us that life's most meaningful moments often come when we least anticipate them. That night, as he drove through the quiet New Hampshire roads, Giuliani could have chosen comfort and safety. Instead, he chose to be present for someone else, to put another's needs above his own. It's a choice that echoes through every act of service, big or small. Even after tragedy struck, he remained determined to recover. The road to healing was long and uncertain, filled with pain and setbacks. But Giuliani's resolve never wavered. He faced each day with the same spirit that led him to help a stranger, steadfast, hopeful, and unwilling to give up. The lesson is simple. Kindness matters, even when the outcome is uncertain. We may never know the full impact of our actions, but that shouldn't stop us from reaching out. Every handshake, every comforting word, every small gesture of support can ripple outward, touching lives in ways we can't imagine. We're defined by how we respond to others in need and to our own challenges. In moments of crisis, our true character is revealed. Do we turn away or do we step forward? Giuliani's story encourages us to choose empathy, to stand together, and to lift each other up, no matter how daunting the circumstances. Giuliani's journey transcends politics. It's a human story of compassion and grit. It's a reminder that, at our core, we are all connected by our capacity to care for one another. His actions speak to the best of what we can be, resilient, compassionate, and unafraid to act when it matters most. In a divided world, helping one another is what unites us. No matter our differences, the simple act of reaching out bridges gaps and builds community. When we choose to serve, we remind ourselves and each other that we're stronger together. As he heals, his example endures. The story of that night continues to inspire, showing us that resilience is not just about surviving hardship, but about finding purpose in helping others, even when we ourselves are struggling. Sometimes, the greatest legacy is a single act of kindness on a dark road. In those quiet moments, when no one is watching, we have the power to change lives, and perhaps, in doing so, to change the world.